When David throws a question in front of his student, how many of you feel it is possible to eliminate the jail within next 30 years? When he asked this question, most of the students looked faint, not quite sure that they heard right and thinking they are listening to real or an oddball. So David again repeated his question, how many of you think it is possible to eliminate the jail in the next 30 years? Once they are sure that David was not joking, they started blasting David, saying, "You mean to say you want to turn all those murderers, thieves and rapists loose? Don't you realize what this would mean? If this happens, then none of us will be safe. We have to have jails." Then other guy said, "All orders will break down if we didn't have jail. Some people are born criminal, don't you know that? Do you read morning newspaper about the murder?" Then group goes on telling all types of good reasons why we must have jail. Someone even replied that we got to have jail so that the police and the prison guard can have jobs. After about 10 minutes of letting the group prove why we can't eliminate the jails and need for jails, David said, "Will you guys extra think hard for few minutes to believe we can eliminate the jail?" Then slowly one guy replied, "Well, you might cut down crime if you establish more youth center." Now the group which was before was solidly against the idea now begins to work up with a real enthusiasm. Other suggestion comes up. We need to work to eliminate the poverty. Most of the crime stems from low income levels. Others said, conduct research to spot the criminals before they commit the crime. This is called believing on the purpose first. This is what most people are lacking. If we ask the people to think corruption-free country, people will get puzzled. Once you believed on your purpose, then how to do it will comes automatically. You don't need to worry about it. Big idea 1. How to do it always comes to the person who believes he can do it. I am definitely sure that everyone would have listened to the statement like, A is millionaire because he is intelligent, B is able to establish his company because he is intelligent. When it comes to intelligence, we have tendency to underestimate our own brain power and overestimate the other fellow brain power. Because of this belief, many people sell themselves short. I remember my friend who was frustrated with his existing job and started searching the job. He went to the interview. The fellow who are next to him, whose interview was completed, said to him that interviewer is too technical and intelligent, buddy. You should be more intelligent to answer his question. And my friend lost the half battle because he was in the assumption that cracking this interview needs a brain. But along comes a fellow who isn't concerned about intelligence and he gets the job. One study shows that child doesn't need lightning fast mind to be scientist, nor does he need miraculous memory, nor is it necessary that he get very high grades in school. The only point that counts is child should have a high degree of interest in science. Interest and enthusiasm is the critical factor even in any field and has a potential enough to beat intelligence. With positive, optimistic and cooperative attitude, and a person with IQ of 100 will achieve more success than the negative, pessimistic, uncooperative individual with an IQ of 120. Big idea 2. Thinking that guides your intelligence is much more important than how much intelligence you have. One time Henry Ford was involved in a libel suit with the Chicago Tribune. The Tribune had called Ford an ignoramus and Ford said in effect, "Please prove it." Then the Tribune asked him scores of simple questions such as when Revolutionary War was fought, who is the 5th president of America, and the other question, most of which Ford, who had a little formal education, could not answer. Finally he exasperated and said, "I don't know the answer to this question, but I could find a man in 5 minutes who does." And he figured out his executive in his company who can answer this question in 5 minutes. And surprisingly, that executive answered the question. This is called finding the right person to do the job better and faster. Big idea 3. In professional life, it is quite common that you will not be knowing most of the things, but you should be at least sure whom you should contact to get the things done.